Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
Yo, bro.
What's up?
Nothing much, dude. It is episode 49. Can you believe it?
That's a beautiful thing right there. I like that.
Who would have thought, dude?
Me for sure, dude. What do you mean?
Where am I? Oh, there I am. I'm back. Okay. How's my framing? We good? Everyone see me? Everyone see us out there, guys?
Never looked better, honestly.
Love to see it, dude. Well, it's good to be back. Good
I'm not
to be
gonna
back.
lie, I'm low riding pretty hard over here. And
You stay low riding.
What
You
the-
stay low riding in the bottom right quadrant of your camera all day, every day.
yeah, it's a safe space, home base. You know what I'm saying, dude?
How you feeling?
I feel great, dude. I've been killing it. Really good nutrition, sleep, lifting for like many weeks in a row. Just really in a good groove. Feels good, man. Makes a huge difference in the old day-to-day energy levels, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I got one of those things right now. I've been lifting every day, but
That's good.
my nutrition hasn't been there. So I feel like I've been kind of just wasting all my muscles because I'm not feeding them properly.
Yeah,
But we're gonna start eating enough again. We'll get back.
I hear you.
I feel a second wind coming. I'm gonna start getting my protein again.
Mm.
I think you gave me a jar of protein back in the day. You gave me creatine and something. I think it was protein. Never opened the protein.
Okay.
Went through the creatine already, so I got a new jar just waiting for me.
That's nice.
You remember the flavor? Was it chocolate? Was it vanilla? Was
Rocky
it birthday
Road.
cake? Rocky Road.
Ooh.
It's a heater.
Dude.
It's the only one that I hit for it's Optimum Nutrition, probably.
No, I thought it was like a white brand, white and black brand.
Don't know.
No, doesn't ring a bell.
Nope.
But either way, I'm getting back to it. Abe, you still working out over there?
Still working out. Still doing my thing. My nutrition's been good. I had one little slip up, let's call it. Fantasy football draft had about 15 IPAs. That probably wasn't good for the old nutrition level. But other than that, very clean. Very clean. Feeling good.
Just drink vodka, dude. There's barely any calories in it.
Tequila is actually what I have heard is the best one to drink for you. But yeah, it was fantasy football. You need a beer.
Gotta have a beer for fantasy draft day, man.
Yeah.
Or you could always practice that thing that they say about what is it again? Moderation. 15 feels like,
No, the
Compared
days.
to the past, compared to the past, 15's moderate.
The schedule of drinking is moderate, but when you do hit that day, go ham if you want.
You think?
If you're drinking
Already a
once a
wasted
month,
day.
dude, fucking do it. No, that shit's poison. Don't
That was
do
a wasted day. And then what about that next day, Abe?
Oh,
That next day, I was way better. I slept a lot, but I didn't eat like a ton. I ate clean that day. I actually worked out a little bit, try and get some of the evil out, sweat it out. And
that's good.
I didn't spiral. That's the key. You can't spiral.
That's true. That's good comms. Yep. It's all about getting back after it sooner than you have in the past.
Exactly.
I like that. What do you say we spiral into this episode?
Before we start spiraling. All right. Yeah. What do we got, Abe?
Well, we got some angry gamers this week.
Typical.
Roll the clip. What are you angry about?
A lot of stuff on this one. There's almost too many things to count. And it's all the anger is directed towards a new game published by Sony, produced by Firewalk Studios by the name of Concord. So Concord is now being dubbed as the worst game release of all time, maybe the worst game of all time.
Damn.
And that's because it's a hero shooter that comes at a price tag of $40. And whether it's the oversaturation of the hero shooter market, the lack of new fun gameplay and just really a repetitive gameplay loop that people don't enjoy, let's call it the awful visuals that they've put into the game that are just some of the ugliest things I've ever seen, plus a fair share of some optimization issues here and there. And what does that get you when you combine it? A launch that shows you never peak above 663 concurrent players. That's right, 663 concurrent players.
You want to hear a fun fact?
Yeah.
MSTV fun fact. That is less peak concurrent players than Smeagol, the video game that came out.
How is it possible that I know Sony's trash, but they are a big brand. Like, they carry weight. How is it possible that they publish a game that only gets 700 players?
Well, to be fair, Sony is the publisher on this. Who made it, Abe?
Firewalk Games or
Yeah,
Studios.
whoever the
Firewalk
hell.
Studios.
Yeah.
When Sony makes a game, they make good games. Like all of the PlayStation exclusives, which is a practice I don't necessarily agree with. Those games are always fire. So
Okay.
the ones that are built like for in-house exclusivity, that are like their cornerstone games, those hit. But Sony's a huge company, like you said, and they publish for a lot of different studios. I don't think they had any part in this game's development. There's a couple of
No.
factors at play that I think is fair to bring up. This hero shooter is coming at the exact same time as Deadlock, which is Valve's. It's technically a third-person MOBA, like a third-person shooter MOBA, but it is also still a hero shooter. In that sense, it ends up playing a lot like Overwatch, in addition to a lot like Dota. And so this game is free to play. You literally, if you have access to it, you just give access to your friends. Bada bing, bada boom. All you and all your homies are in, and it's free. And it's taking over, and it's made by Steam. And I don't know if you know, or made by Valve. And I don't know if you know a lot of like their games or if you've heard of them. But they are primarily Counter-Strike and Dota. So it's like, not only is this like a big deal just for Valve to release a game at the same time, it's also relatively a similar genre, and it's free. So it's like, well, what am I going to choose to play here?
Yeah, but so I get that. I do. But when Sony decides that we'll publish a game, do you think they have any standards, or do you think they just publish a shit ton of games and some of them hit and some of them don't? Like, don't you think they have standards that, like, all right, we know this company's probably gonna get like 10,000 downloads, maybe something like that.
No, when you're that big, you have tons of shit that you're helping publish for, and you're just you're doing it as like a B2B service. You don't have any responsibility to the end product consumer.
So what is that type of deal when a developer
I think it depends.
gets published?
I think it depends. Sometimes it's upfront, sometimes percent of sales. I think the deals are different. So,
Okay.
and I think if they are like, does this studio have any other published titles like on track record?
Let's take a look.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious. That would be meaningful. But yeah, I don't think Sony gives a flying fuck. Like if they, you know what I'm saying? If they publish for a game and it does ass, they didn't make it.
They're just like, we have to publish 3,000 games a year, and our percentage of succeeding in those publishing is about 10%. All right, we got to get 3,000.
It looks like this is their only game, which is not good for them. And I will say there is a caveat to this too, is that Sony had to pay to acquire Firewalk during the development process. So even if they didn't, they just published the game, they actually acquired this studio. And this game took 8 years to develop. So you're talking about a huge sunken cost, even though I think Sony owned it for about 5 of those 8. But just taking salaries alone,
interesting.
You're looking at a huge money investment. It's the estimates that it probably costs somewhere in the $50 to $100 million range to make this game.
That's hilarious. It feels to me like that it had to be like one of those like internal studio struggles, where there's just like either a lack of vision or vision at odds, and then like they kind of have to go through like almost a complete reboot at some time. We've seen this happen with a bunch of different games, but like you'll see the studio just like get cut in half and then try to like build back out under the same umbrella vision that those people share. It sounds to me like that's kind of what happened here, and Sony was, because they had some sort of like working agreement with this company, they tried to like save it, but man, what a poor choice. My God.
Yeah, that's where I'm confused. Is like, this is their first game ever. How do you strike a deal with such a big brand if it's your first game ever?
Got to be
press about this game too. And I think one of the things that that's undersold here that they really screwed up on is that $40 price tag. This is a genre, the hero shooter genre, that the idea is you make a free to play game, you hook people in to love the heroes in the game, and then they're buying skins and customizations and weapon skins and things for that hero. And upfront price tags not really normal for this style of game.
Yeah, it's the classic microtransaction play. And it seems to me that they thought, okay, we had to bail them out. We paid a ton of money. We now own this. We're the publishers, so we're in charge of like release, like the marketing, which in my opinion didn't exist for this game. I think they were just like, we can't market this. We've already put so much into it. We don't have budget for marketing this game. No one ever heard of it, like when it was coming out, like not really. And they were like, well, we literally don't have the spare room now to make this free to play cosmetic micros and try and like gain that back over time with a quality game. We have to put this like $40 upfront price tag on it, thinking that would make a nice chunk into trying to get them, out of the red. But if they had less than 1,000 people concurrent on the game,
yeah,
that clearly wasn't the right choice. That play didn't work out for the short term.
The studio has like 200 employees, so you figure even if the studio just gets like 2 of their family members each to log in at the same time as them, there's 600 people right there. It's just at 660 peak.
It has to be so grossly mismanaged though for there to be that many employees and to just create something that is not meaningful. And I mean, like, again, most studios that put out garbage is a byproduct of mismanagement, right? It's the people at the top not having any clue what the real focus of what they're trying to create is, right? They don't have the vision for the end game or how they're gonna make people love their game. And it's just unfortunate, man, because we just get so much uninspired garbage just to like push some crippled game that's been all out here for being worked on for 8 years over the finish line. And then like we all lose. The consumer definitely loses. When you have that much money in the gaming industry just getting flushed down the toilet, like that could have went towards good projects, man.
Do you think it's possible for those developers to like fly under the radar at Sony after this? Like, we're not marketing it, we're gonna launch it, don't bring it back up, and let's just see if we can fly under the radar.
Some of it is passing the buck. I mean, the devs themselves, like, I wouldn't list this on my resume. I mean, moving forward,
they've been attacking critics of the game too on Twitter, which is not smart when you do this poorly. And like Slum, I'm gonna start playing this video in the background. I turned off the sound, but so you can get a look at the character models that they built. They're hilariously ugly. They went for like a 70s sci-fi theme, and it just didn't work. And once again, this is a hero shooter, so the idea is you want to get people hooked and fall in love with your heroes so that they'll continue to spend on the game and things like that. And I mean, just look at some of these character models. They're just disgusting when we get through some of them. They don't look good. The art style,
I mean, like,
any favors.
A good, oh gosh, like robots you can fall in love with, like R2D2, BB, whatever the other one is. They're cute, they look good. That guy's totally the opposite.
I mean, I don't think there's necessarily like not a place for that, but even like I'm not even opposed to this art style. Like, I don't think it feels very inspired, or these people feel very standalone or unique enough to like fall in love with, right? I think that's a tall order, but at the same time, like, that's what you signed up for. And yeah, that amount of time, that amount of money for whatever this ended up being, it's disappointing. I did see some of like the devs coming at people at Twitter. It was a really funny interaction. Someone like basically responded really nicely, and to one of the devs who like put out a tweet, and the dev like semi misinterpreted what they were saying and then just like shit all over them for no reason. And it was like it was the only person giving them sympathy. It was so crazy. And the response was like, we don't care what a bunch of freaks on the internet have to say about our game. That's what he said roughly. I'm sure you can find the exact quote if you give it a quick Google it, but yeah.
You just shit on the people that are buying your game.
Right.
Like, what are the guys an idiot?
Well, I mean, you can't judge like a 200-person studio on like the Twitter comments of one individual, right? But I just found it funny, and it did gain them a lot of bad press. So interesting, which is honestly, ironically, the only reason I ever heard that this game released. So there you go. Unlucky.
Well, it is what it is, dude. They flopped.
Yeah.
You can't really do much about it now.
It does happen.
I'd be surprised. I'd be curious if they launch another game.
You
think they got something in the pipeline?
The problem with the industry right now is if you have a studio that has no track record, you come out with some dog shit like this and it flops, you just change the name of your studio and put something else out.
Jesus, dude.
It's true. They don't. No one runs it back unless you had a hit. Like they won't keep the studio name. I guarantee it. If they come out with another game.
That's very interesting. Okay. Well, then let's see what it turns into. I guess they'll just change names and drop something else. I'd be excited to see what their next thing is. See if it's as bad as this. But like the marketing is almost like you should save like 50% of your budget for marketing. To save no budget for marketing, depending on the type of grassroots and cult following you have. But for something new,
brand new IP. And again, it's like you can't just drop something like this with no existing IP and expect people to pay $40 for it right up front. That's never going to work. It's never going to work.
Here's the tweet. So somebody responded, I'm so sorry this to be your first. I do not believe it is you or any other dev's fault that this game has performed so poorly. I could tell that a lot of effort was put into completing this game. It just came at the wrong time and genre. And then they responded, I don't really care. It was a huge labor from a lot of insanely talented people making an awesome game. Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks hating on it? I'm sure having fun playing it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. This person's like, I'm so sorry this happened to you.
I wouldn't trade it for anything. Come on, dude.
Talentless freaks is so funny, man. The next time chat comes at me, I'm calling them all talentless freaks. Oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, we need a talentless freaks copy pasta.
Oh man, it's so good. What? All right, so what are the numbers there for Steam charts?
So all-time peak is 660.
The
24-hour peak is 237, and as of an hour ago, which isn't fair, it's been a day, and a 166.
Nothing screams viable competitive hero shooter like 200 people online.
That's not even enough people
worldwide.
to matchmake the game.
You can't matchmake. Those people aren't actually playing. They're in the menus searching for other people to play.
What happens at those dips and then they get right back up?
It's like probably like. Is that day to day? It's probably day to day, so it's probably just like non-peak hours of gameplay.
Yeah,
whatever that ends up being on like a global scale.
It could have even been maybe they took the game down for a patch or something.
What I think it is.
0.
Oh yeah. It's a patch then.
Okay.
Sorry, that's really little for me.
The nighttime is where it just swoops.
Yeah, I can zoom in some more then.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. These poor guys.
Yeah, this is
reap what you sow.
Not good.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's time to start reaping. All right, what else we got? What's next?
So I want to stay on the topic of game flops really quickly. And I got some follow-ups to two just legendary games on this podcast, and that would be firstly Star Wars Outlaws. So we've talked about this game a bunch on here, but even more gameplay footage has come out. So if you remember last time we talked about it, it was gameplay footage it was the pre-release game version that they handed out to reviewers to be able to play the game, and we just tore the AI to shreds, and we said hopefully they'll get something in there to fix this before the release of
If you remember, the
game,
guy was like building up how good like the stealth mechanic was, and how meaningful the AI felt, and it was like the AI was just
Yeah.
like humping this
Yeah.
guy's body, and then they
Yep.
were not shooting at anything, and really bad.
It looked like the guy that's when you watch a fight scene in the movie, just waiting in the background, like for his cue.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
idling.
yeah, we now have beta. I'm sorry, not beta. Early access gameplay footage, and they didn't fix a thing. So check this out. I'll turn the volume down a little bit here. The speeder is just stuck on terrain, not moving.
That is
They're standing
incredible,
directly in
dude.
front of it. It's
Oh,
not
so they're supposed to be
them.
shooting at this
Yeah,
girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell are they doing, dude?
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, maybe it wasn't aggroed on her.
There's only
As soon
one.
as-
It's a single player game, so long there's only one person that can be shooting at.
As soon as she
That's
shot at
awesome.
that guy, the other one shot at her.
It's just driving into a pot or something. It's not even
So
stuck.
bad, man.
It is stuck. That's unfortunate.
So this game costs $100 to play early access. $110, sorry. And here's
Oh,
it gets
Chris.
even better because Ubisoft released an early access, and once again, this is a single player game. Okay, they released an early access version that you had to pay $110 to get early access to, and then because of some critical bugs, they made an update to the game to fix those critical bugs. But in order to avoid those bugs after the update, you have to delete your saved game data, right? So that means
So
that
what
the
you
people
paid
that got
early
it
for was a
Correct.
complete waste. God damn it,
Completely
man.
wiped away.
How do you handle that? How, as a company, do you do anything?
No, absolutely. I guarantee they didn't like do like any sort of offer for a mass refund. They don't care, dude.
absurd.
They
That is-
don't care.
That's robbery.
Bro, the whole system of get to play a week early for an extra $40 on top of your $70 game is robbery, dude. There's nothing else they're actually offering. It's crazy.
Well,
They're digital assets, slum.
yeah, but if
It's 100% profit, man.
listen, it's up to the consumer to be an idiot or to not be.
Yeah, I
But
hear
if
you.
you're just if you got it like that and you want to buy it, sure, fine. But don't rob me.
Well, that's
of what I-
why. That's exactly why Ubisoft has paid so much money to have the Star Wars IP, because they can just put out dog shit and people will pay $110 because of Star Wars, man. It's the whole model. It's exactly why. And us, the consumer, has to rot over here because no one else is able to make a Star Wars game, which could actually be good if it went to a meaningful studio. But Ubi sits on the IP just so that they can exploit all of these shitty business practices as often as possible, dude. I'm dying.
And then they delete your progress. I mean,
that's what's
wild.
really that is absurd. That is absolutely ridiculous. Like, so wait, hold on, wait. Let me clarify. You pay to get early access.
Mhm.
However, when you make all this progress in that early access,
It launched with terrible bugs.
so they had to redo it, and all
Well, it
your
wasn't-
progress is gone.
It wasn't right to begin with when they pushed the game. Smile.
Sure. So all your progress is gone. However, you did get what you paid for.
Mhm.
Early access, right?
Yeah.
You
You
did.
didn't pay to like save all that shit.
And
You know what I
that's,
mean?
Yeah, that could have been a nice kicker fee on the back end, dude. But bang, but boom. That's
Dude,
bonus DLC.
We just gave them a new idea.
I know, dude. I
Oh
hate
my
it.
gosh, dude. Pay an extra 20. You want this all to be saved? If not, we'll see you next week and you'll be at 0 again.
well, and it's not like other games haven't done paid early access. Even like there was just a new World of Warcraft
They all do
expansion,
it.
and they did it. But in an MMO, even if there's a bug, your progress is saved. Right? It's an online server. They don't
Right.
roll it back. Like this is the whole point of this game is to save your progress. It's a single player game.
Like, that's, to me, it's like, you ever do a project for school back in the day and you're
No.
typing up like you're typing I deserve that. You'd be typing up like a gigantic essay and like the file would corrupt or some shit, and you just lose it, and you have to go back and do all of it again, and it's just like, and you have that like sinking feeling. I know Slum has experienced this way more so with video files,
Dude.
long edits, and just Premiere just dying.
You know, I have a RAID system, which is 100 terabytes, and it's in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say half of that is autosave files that I should probably delete a shit ton of them. But because I had a client one time, and I have a problem with not saving my work, and I got like all the way done, and it crashed, and it took me halfway back. And halfway back doesn't seem like a lot, but it is a lot, dude. In like a 3-minute edit with many different clips and effects and little minute. How do you? What's the word?
You got it. You're there. You got it.
Changes. You ever say a word and it's just like, is that a real word?
Oh yeah. Now say it like 6-7 times, bro. No meaning left. You're not even speaking English.
Just all that little
minute.
I thought it was minute. It's just, dude, auto save. Just everyone remember to save your stuff. Auto save it if you have auto save ability.
Yeah.
Save you a bunch of headache.
Now imagine paying $110 for your leisure time just to experience that, and there's not even a requirement for you to like do it again. Like you don't have to do it again. So like to me, like I'm literally never playing that game at that point. Yeah. If that actually happened to me, say I put like 3 hours in the beginning of a game, if you think I'm putting another 3 hours in the same shit for that game, you are out of your mind, man.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm just deleting time. I'm deleting time. But I'll never get them back.
That's a luxury.
It's riveting gameplay, though. Like, I mean, you don't want to watch this speeder get stuck on a beaver
that's terrible.
For
it's absolutely terrible.
Second time.
But that's a luxury that you can leave the game. How do you think I felt when I was like, all right, well, got to start over.
I hear you.
The client's expecting something.
Yep.
Oh,
you knew how much work it was going to be.
Oh, dude, and it definitely wasn't. It probably wasn't.
And you priced it out for that amount of work, and now you got twice as much work.
Yep.
And for the same price.
Oh gosh.
Yep. That's rough.
Was there any more topic on that? Because
I have another update from our other favorite game.
I know on the Star Wars. You
no, that's it. Those are the two critical issues with the game since long. I'm sure there's a plethora of other problems with this pile of crap, but that's the most notable that I've seen so far that I've seen people complaining about.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can get this game for free right now with one of the companies that we work with. So if you want to get it for free, you got to buy some other stuff, though.
But yeah, you're going to have to buy a lot of stuff, but
yeah.
It actually is a lot more than $110.
But if you don't spend money on the game, you save it to buy the pre-release.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
what's the next game?
Well, the other game is our favorite one. That's Escape from Tarkov, and Mark's been playing it on stream a little bit and getting back into the world of Tarkov.
Drop days.
He's been very fortunate that he didn't get hunted down by one of these people because there's a bug right now in the game. It has been fixed, but there's a caveat to that.
Yeah, there is a caveat.
Where
you got any footy?
Stabbed, I do. If you get stabbed with a cultist knife and you have the poison from the cultist knife on you and you die, it actually locks your entire account out of the game, and you can't play the game anymore.
That's a bug, or is that intentional?
That's a bug.
It'd be so good if it was intentional, though.
Some would say that's doing you a favor by blocking you out of playing Tarkov. But so what's now happening is cheaters are grabbing those knives and hunting down streamers and people with the Unheard of edition to lock them out of playing the game.
Dude, that's
so as you see here, it's become a horror game.
That's so good, dude. That's freaking hilarious. So this guy's about to get stabbed.
Yeah, it's.
No, he came out of nowhere.
Blinked into existence. Hit him with the jism.
Oh wait, he
dipped out.
He's
so
not
the only way to prevent the bug from crippling you is you need to have a stim to immediately cure the poison, and you have to disconnect from the server. You lose that kit, you lose all your stuff, but your account's not locked. So you see him, he stims, and then he goes immediately and disconnects because that's the only way to prevent the bug.
So wait, not only was this guy would have been funny in my book, but he's a hacker. right? It
Yes,
looks like 'cause he
correct.
disappeared. All
He's
right.
a hacker,
Hacker
hunting down
and stream
streamers on
sniper.
purpose.
That's bullshit. It would have been hilarious if some guy just like stormed up on him and shanked him, exploiting that bug. Sorry, I find that funny. But now that you're hacking, like now you're just a freaking asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a part of me that does feel that like when the cheating population exploit or puts on display just how shit the development of this game is, like there's small wins to be had there, right? Because of the spotlight. But so they went ahead and instead of fixing this bug for Clarity Slum, all they did was disable the poison. You no longer get poison when you get stabbed with it. And like that's their fix.
But so
repercussions from that.
wait, so hold on. The bug was if you get stabbed and die from the poison, you get locked.
Yeah.
So if they remove the poison, you don't die from it.
Yeah.
Correct. And it prevents you from getting your account locked.
That's a pretty quick way to fix it.
There's a causation of that now if you had this dagger in PvE mode, so the non-online, the single player Tarkov, it causes back-end errors if you had it in your inventory. So your character gets bricked because when you try to go into your inventory, it immediately back-end errors and you can't do anything. So that's problem number one. And problem number two is they've tied progression quests to cultist knife poison requirements. Therefore, with the poison being removed, you literally can't complete the quests. So they have to they actually have to fix the bug in order to allow people to progress or remove that quest or something like that. And they have to find a way to unbrick all the people that are broken in single player Tarkov.
Wait, are they still locked
well,
out?
it's the people that got in the PvP mode, the people that got hit with this first iteration of the bug, not the repercussions. I don't think they have their accounts back.
Oh my God.
There's
dude.
no indication that their accounts have been restored so far.
So this guy, before it happened to him, he was informed and he knew what to do right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which as a streamer, like you hear
quick.
about these things, like if I was playing like the first couple of days, I would have known that this was going around kind of deal.
Oh my gosh, dude.
He was quick with it.
Wow. He
He was
Um,
very quick with it. He saved himself.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Like it's just funny to me having watched the development of this game for so long. It's always like cutting corner measures, right? That always have repercussions, and it's just like this is the classic. This is the absolute classic. It's we have no idea why this is a thing, so we're gonna fix it in this completely like asinine way, which is then gonna cause a bunch of other issues. And it's like, all right, well, that's where we're at.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm ever surprised anymore when it comes from them.
No,
It's like
it's a combination of being not giving a shit about the consumer in conjunction with being relatively talentless coders.
But yes, agreed. But that's not. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever surprised when I hear that Battle State fucked up and then fucked up again to try to fix something.
Yeah.
But what and something that's wearing off of my surprising ness to this game is that people still freaking play it.
It's the best.
Like
it's
every
the
time I hear
best
something-
iteration of
An extraction shooter.
an extract by a mile. By a mile. It's not even close.
How hard
ABI
would it be?
and Delta Force and Gray Zone and everything. They suck by comparison. They're genuinely embarrassingly bad. They are only doing the absolute bare minimum to tick the boxes to be in the genre for the flavor of the month hype to try and make a buck. None of those games are good. Like
It's
just
just
flat
crazy.
out, objectively, they're not good games.
Even the fringe games like Hunt just released an update, Hunt Showdown, and they broke their UI. They're having optimization issues, and like people are complaining about that. Nothing in this genre is good.
It's the
crazy.
same reason Daisy standalones still is popular. It's the exact same reason.
How long is this window going to be open though? I feel like we've
Daisy's
talked
had their
about-
window open for 11 years, dude. And they're still not a better survival shooter.
I
it's
love
just
Daisy, dude.
pure gross incompetence in this genre. And it happens because these are businessmen trying to capitalize on the hype of something that they do not understand. And they continue to fail over and over again. They do not get what makes these genres tick, why people play them, why did people fall in love with them. Every single one of those games I just mentioned, like, they undermine their own risk reward constantly with all of the mechanics that they put in, whether it's pay to win or otherwise. And it's like, that's why people play Tarkov, man. It's risk reward, it's gambling, it's deciding, like, how much am I willing to bet on myself when I go into this raid? I can bet a little bit more. I'm gonna risk a lot more, right? Because of it, but maybe it gives me better odds. There's like little key features that are addictive. It's why the game pops off and continues to have such an insane player base. And like, it's funny. Like, the grand irony is, like, it's not because Battlestate are geniuses. It's because they fell into shit through their own incompetence because they couldn't make the game that they wanted to make. And the Band-Aid solution of individual instance-based raids launched a whole new genre.
Bro.
It's
we
crazy.
just talked about how they put a Band-Aid on this problem. Escape from Tarkov was a byproduct of that ecosystem they have over there.
It's just
hilarious.
Band-Aid solutions, and somehow they landed on a genius one. They had no idea that it was going to be genius at the time. It was just like, and they literally said, this is temporary. We're going to change this. The end product of this game will be different. Well, guess what? It's not going to be. It's no longer the case.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. I thought they intentionally made this game.
It would, I mean, it's like, the idea was everything was going to be open. They were trying to make an open world game where everything linked. All the maps were together. You could go from one to the other seamlessly. You could hit traders in the world rather than, they were trying to make one of the, like, the modded DayZ servers that you see today. Essentially, that's what Tarkov was supposed to be. But because they picked Unity with dog shit spaghetti netcode, they can't have more than 12 people in a raid at any time without it being a laggy piece of shit. Yeah, if that. Usually it's less. Most of the time you run into way less. Sometimes on an insane day, that's like the max on, like, the biggest map, right? And so it's like, because they could only have 12, it's like, well, we need them to actually interact with each other. So it's like, well, we need to make the area pretty small for each map. And then we need to make them spawn at opposite ends and then have to cross each other and force the interaction. Like, this is all just so that they could get people to actually see each other with such a limited number. And it spawned this whole genre.
That's wild.
It's crazy.
That's absolutely crazy.
Under the assumption that that isn't going to be what the game is at the end of, like, the tunnel. Wild.
What if you were to have a say in it, how many players do you think you would want in those raids?
I mean, it's 100% dependent on the tech. And not only is, like, the tech bad, but then on top of that, Battlestate are cheap bastards, man. They're cheap as it gets. And so when they pay for the servers that host these, they're dog shit servers that have very low tick rates, meaning, like, how often they refresh, right? Like, how frequently the data transfers between client to server to server to client.
Yeah.
That number is low.
Yeah, that's why you see, like, someone turning a corner or don't see someone turning a corner, right? And they kill you.
Yeah, the updates are very slow. And then if you put latency and then and all sorts of, like, there's a lot of different factors at play that contribute to that. But yes, if the server itself is bad, like, it can only be so good. That's why people play, like, for Counter-Strike, just to give you some idea. 64 tick servers are like matchmaking. If you play Face It, it's 128 tick. This is for CS:GO versus Face It. Now CS has this sub-tick system. completely like irrelevant at this point.
Okay.
So people would play Face It for smoother, enjoyable servers. We've seen reports of 8-tick servers for Tarkov, just so that you have an idea.
Bro.
Yep.
How is that possible?
Because it's cheaper. That's where we're at, dude. That's the world we're living in with Battle State.
Dude, but you got to give it to them. They do know what they're doing.
It's so crazy, man. It's like
Content
so
machines.
much success by accident, despite all odds. It's crazy.
You know what's even the crazier part is you'd want that to happen to, like, there's certain people you meet in the world and you're like, man, I hope that guy has a great day and like just finds a 20 spot on the ground or something. I would assume those guys probably aren't the guys that you want that to happen to. I don't want to wish ill will on anyone, but if I'm going to wish accidental tremendous success, I got a list of names.
You don't want Nikita to find a 20 spot on the ground when he's unwilling to find a meaningful solution to cheaters because he wants to see how many copies of the game they're willing to buy, quote unquote, from Nikita. That's not the guy that you're really excited to find that 20 on the ground. That's crazy.
Before we switch, we gotta switch soon because this Tarkov is too. We're giving them way too much.
I know.
How many people are still buying the game day to day?
A lot.
An insane amount.
Like,
and they're still, when they do a cheater wave, they still hit a bulk price. They offer, hey, you can buy 4 copies of this game for an insane discount. Yup.
Wait.
You can buy. Yup. Oh, it's way cheaper if you buy 4 at a time, knowing that they're gonna get banned, dude. It's a fucking joke, dude. They are scumbags. I know.
There's no way.
I swear to God, dude. It's literally, it's not only like day after fucking cheater wave all the time, but then it's, hey, you know what? You need 4 copies of this shit.
Does the audience put that together? That, like, that's the only reason they have group sales.
We don't even need to put it together. He said it himself. It came out of his mouth.
Wait. Stop. Oh, God.
There's an interview from fucking back in the day, man. I watched it live. And the question was about hardware banning. And he said, we are not going to pursue hardware banning because we want to see how deep the cheaters' pockets go. Quote unquote. Nikita Buyanov, suck my dick.
The answer is deep, by the way. They go very deep.
And the crazy thing is, too, is like RMT has never been more popular. Like, people are buying. That's why cheating is so bad. It is the driving force. Because in a game of risk reward, like, people want to be able to swipe their credit card and get shit. And so people in developing countries, sometimes their best opportunity is to capitalize on these RMT markets versus go work a normal job where they live. They make way more money selling these in-game items online. And so why would you play the game legit if you're trying to do that? You just cheat because you make way more money because you can buy 4 accounts at a fucking time with a huge discount. You're making money hand over fist, even if you get each of those accounts banned in like a day. And spoiler alert, they do ban waves like you can cheat on an account for months without being detected or banned. If you even have like any semblance of giving a shit.
God.
That's where we're at, dude. Like that's the state of it. And they do not care and they are so open about it. It's yeah, bro.
Someone needs to come through and pop through the window and make a game that works. And make a game that's why doesn't someone make the exact same game? Just better. Like, why is that not a thing?
Risk aversion.
Yeah, but they
It
see
would
this
be
game.
I know, but it would be expensive. And then they are specifically trying to compete.
What's the most expensive part? The net code or whatever, the spaghetti string stuff that you're talking about?
Developing a game, like, you have to understand, not only has Tarkov been playable since late 2016, early 2017.
Yeah.
So it's been around that long.
Yeah.
But they were developing it before that, and they took 2 previous iterations of it that were other games. It's like this
Okay.
long line of, like, this game has been in development for like 25 years.
Sure. I get it.
It's not actually 25 years, but like I'm exaggerating.
Okay.
But a long fucking time. And it's very expensive. And so basically all they want is to keep things churning, right? And so it's the main reason why, like, the development cycle right now is they don't give a shit about the multiplayer aspects. They just keep focusing on PvE and story, because the next iteration of this game is a single player game. We know the name of it. We know that it's going to be a single player game. We know it's not multiplayer. Everything that they are developing right now is for that. So PvP and the multiplayer experience has taken a massive backseat for years now. 2019 was the last time the game was quote unquote good by any meaningful standard.
You think they even mean that? Like, you think that's even going to happen?
The next iteration, of course.
Yeah.
And
They can sell another copy to everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
But so it would just be a different game, though.
Yeah.
Because Escape from Tarkov, you'd still want to keep slanging that.
Yeah. I mean, they're still slanging shit for Contract Wars. Game before this.
Oh, geez. Okay.
It's like, it's just gonna, the cycle continues. They get to keep they just keep slanging copies. That's the whole point.
But all I'm saying is there's, 7 maps or something. If you get a really good Unreal guy, he can make a map a week. There's your maps right there.
It has to be built to genuinely compete. It has to be built from the ground up with competitive fidelity in mind.
What is competitive fidelity?
You need to build the game and not through the scope of, I'm unwilling to make something like performance and hit registration. Anything that we develop can't impact those things negatively.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Yes. Okay. Sure.
There has to be this like meaningful expectation of outcome, like to the point of like CS levels at the very least. CS2 is not very impressive on that front by comparison to CS:GO. But if they got to CS2 level, people, like, you wouldn't have the grand frustrations of the day to day. The reason why people hate playing Tarkov / love playing Tarkov is because crazy things happen and you can't explain them. It's like they've incorporated a ton of RPG mechanics and there's a bunch of dice rolls, and it's like what people want is that game that feels skill based, and you know that you will succeed when you do the right things. I have an ammo type. I hit an insane headshot on the run versus this guy. I don't want to see it fucking ricochet off into the distance for no reason, just because I lost the dice roll. I had this happen the other day. I got into a raid, shot a guy in the head twice immediately, like double dinked him both times. I'm using one of the best ammo types in the game, and he has a shit helmet. He has a level 3 helmet. I have M855A1556. It has high pen, high damage. Like, by far one of the best rounds. Hit him twice in the helmet. Both of them low roll and ricochet. I still killed the guy. But, like, I'm thinking about, like, all the situations where that guy wasn't shit and I just die. I'm angry. And so it's like, I think if you are going to try to compete, it's avoid all of the RPG mechanics that are in the game. Make it skill-based. Don't delete your skill gap with, I play the game more, therefore I run faster, jump higher, throw grenades farther, have more stamina, have less recoil. If you avoided that kind of shit and made this game, I think you could be successful. But again, they have such an insane head start when it comes to content and lore and asset creation, and it's hard, man. It's hard to compete. It's very difficult. And so most people who could make that kind of game are like, is that a path we really want to go down? It's a hard sell. It's a very hard sell for a studio to try and like to go down that path. So I get why we don't have a meaningful competitor. I do. But again, like, yeah, there's not one of these other games, like none of them have taken a legitimate shot at it. They all decided, you know what? We're not in it for 10, 15 years. We're in it for a couple of years. We're pushing this shit. We're going to try and make some money. We'll see how it goes. And that's, you know, the games are, you get the expectation accordingly, right? So.
That's very well said. I understand.
Irritating.
And, yeah. What are you going to do, dude? I think I'm keeping an optimistic mindset on this. I think that there's going to be a new generation of young bucks that made a crap ton of money, and they're like, I don't care how long this takes you guys. Here's money. Spend it efficiently. Don't be stupid. And just go at it, dude.
Yeah, we need the Steven Sharif of FPSs, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
We'll see. Hopefully that does come along. And Ash's creation October 25th, by the way. Very exciting. Live at MSTV.
I know you are.
Yeah, buddy.
I know you are.
All right.
What else? I think we have a little bit of time left. Is there
we'll go to some non-video quick Twitch update. Just
Okay.
really quick. I don't know if you caught this, Mark, but the price of mobile subs is increasing substantially. It's going from $5.99 to $7.99. And when asked about it, your boy Dan Clancy explained that it is not going to provide the same revenue splits on that $7.99 because that's to offset App Store price cuts.
Yeah, it goes to the App Stores.
So it's going to go to the App Store.
Is that, dude?
PSA to all you Twitch watchers out there: don't buy the mobile sub. Buy it on your browser because it'll be a lot.
You can still cheaper. Subscribe to a channel through mobile if the streamer is smart and has a command set up for !sub, and then it goes to like the desktop version of the browser.
Sure.
And avoid the app altogether. Also, if for some reason you are dense enough to still be using the Twitch app, please delete that shit off of your phone and download Frosty. It is a million times better of an experience. You don't have to deal with the headache of all the quote unquote new features to the Twitch mobile app. Frosty.
Is it Twitch made by Twitch or no?
Nope. Third party. Log into your Twitch. Enjoy a actually wonderful streaming experience on your phone.
Frosty. That is interesting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna do that. Because the Twitch app sucks.
Yes, it does.
Frosty is a great way to introduce, I think, what we could end on today. And that's, I'm a little worried about Slum on this one because Wendy's is releasing sauce nuggets. So home of the Frosty,
Ooh.
Wendy's is releasing a sauced nugget. So this is essentially a Wendy's nugget that is done like, let's call it boneless wing style, where they just douse it in different sauces.
Okay.
Those sauces include honey barbecue, garlic parm, buffalo, spicy honey barbecue, spicy garlic parm, spicy buffalo, and then a spicy ghost pepper, which sounds terrifying and good at the same time.
Those are some good flavors, bro.
Yeah, they are. I could do without the buffalo. How do they do this? Are they pre-sauced, do you think? Or do they fry the nuggets and then throw them in the batter?
Same, it's got to be same nugs that they're making elsewhere, right?
Absolutely.
There's no.
Yeah, I would assume they're frying the same nug and then sauce.
Yeah, I'll figure it out tonight. But how do they? So do they fry them? You think, and then, or is it the same nuggets still, but now they're coming frozen in sauce already?
I feel like you can't. I don't know how they're making the nuggets today. If they're throwing them in an actual fryer, pre-saucing them is going to be an issue. Because that's going to be
you lose all the
sauce. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a hell of a time to keep the sauce integrity.
Gotta be sauce after.
Sauce after.
It's got to be tossing the sauce after. Yeah.
So I'm down with that because the Wendy's near me is consistent as a mug.
Oh, that's
nice. You go there, it's hot every time.
Got a
you
good
get your
franchise,
food,
huh?
Yep, it is fresh. So this is exciting. I wonder also, they say fresh, never frozen, but I think that's just the beef patties.
I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with
nugs.
that.
I don't think the nugs
No,
are.
the nugs are definitely frozen at some point.
But they're still nice though.
They're not bad.
The
They're really
spicy
not
nuggets
bad.
are great. That's be an interesting thing too. I wonder if the ghost pepper, the buffalo, and any kind of hot sauce, if they're using the spicy nuggets, then saucing them.
Ooh,
And the other things, I
okay.
wonder if they're using the regular nuggets.
That's interesting.
That's a good point.
Yeah, maybe for all
they
the
don't
ones that are
mention
spicy, it could be the spicy nug as a
Both
base.
delicious. Both delicious.
And it could be nice. You know what's
And
really nice is you get the spicy one and then you get a frosty, bro. Cool your mouth down. God
Ooh,
I
dang.
never got down with that, dude.
You don't like the frosty?
Nah, and the people go, "Oh, you dip your French fries in it."
Oh, dude, the salty
it's
sweet
freaking
combo.
weirdo,
So no, it's
dude.
salty
Nah.
sweet, man. That's
Salty
basic.
sweet.
You don't.
Salty sweet.
Yeah, man. It's like
Who
it's like a
what is
chocolate covered
salty
pretzel. You don't like that,
Those are fire.
bro?
Those are
Same
fire.
thing.
That's a salty
That's
sweet.
salty sweet, bro.
I
Yeah.
like salty sweet.
It's or like the piece of chocolate that has the like the sea salt sprinkle.
Yep.
Yep,
Okay.
that's
you like
nice.
that too,
Understood.
especially if it's
Understood.
chocolate caramel with a little sea salt sprinkle on top, a little dark chocolate.
Yep. That's
Great
why
combo.
people like it, man. It's that combination. It just that fucking hits, dude.
I'm not a
know what's
fan of
nice?
the vanilla frosty though.
That's
I like the
crazy.
chocolate
I don't
frosty.
even.
I don't like the vanilla
No,
frosty.
that
I
doesn't
thought it was only
exist.
chocolate.
No,
Exactly.
they have a vanilla one. now.
Exactly.
I only thought it was chocolate. I thought a frosty was chocolate.
If you order a frosty, they're giving you a chocolate one for sure.
Yeah, you have to request the vanilla frosty. I'm sure.
Psychopaths, dude.
I'm more of a McFlurry guy. I'll make a stop at Wendy's, then head over to Mickey D's.
If you
afterwards.
got family members getting vanilla frosties, you should probably report them. Just make sure the feds keep an eye on them.
That's
they're on a
pre-crime.
list.
That's
They're
definitely
on a list
pre-crime.
for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited about this. I'll let you know. I'll take some pictures and then we'll talk about it in the next episode.
Hell
Okay,
yeah.
we can do a nice little live review. Yeah, I like it.
Well, yeah, I got you. Any last quick one or what?
Well, we could talk about this one really quickly because it has to do with food as well. So Disney, and there's a video
Freaking
that gets
starving over here, Abe.
this might make you less hungry. Disney got some hot water recently because at one of their resorts in Florida, the Disney World Florida, their main resort, two visitors went into one of the restaurants on site, and one of them had a severe allergic reaction to their meal and passed away. And how this gets back into the tech world, though, is that the husband of the person who died went to sue Disney over the incident. There was not enough care placed on the preparation of the food. And
Was
Disney
what they
then
were
said,
eating not the known allergy to the person?
I think the person had a severe dairy and nut allergy, and they made that clear
I
to
see. Yeah, okay.
the staff that was not to be included in
And
the
they let it
meal.
ride.
And they did anyway. They let it rip, and this person passed away. Disney then said to the lawsuit that they had to go through forced arbitration, and that's because Disney, in their Disney Plus, their streaming service, has a terms of service that dictates that any of their, anybody using the service has to go through forced arbitration. And this man had subscribed to the Disney service 2 years prior to their theme park visit. So after severe backlash due to this, Disney finally backed off and said, they prepared a statement, and I could read it really quickly. We believe this situation warrants a sensitive approach to expedite a resolution for the family who have experienced such a painful loss. That was after they already tried to block this with forced arbitration.
Of course.
But so many people called them out for how nonsensical it is to use a terms of service from Disney Plus to apply to someone eating at their theme park, that they finally backed off, and now this lawsuit's moving forward.
That is crazy, bro.
Good for them. I would like, when stuff like this happens, it would be even better if like the community did a deep dive onto how many things are swept under the rug or settled out of court or settlements have been paid, and just did a deep dive and be like, guys, this is the company that we're talking about.
Disney's
right now.
spending enough money for that shit to be wiped off the face of the earth. Change history off the face of the earth. Like you won't find it on any archived internet or nothing, dude.
Yeah, I know, but I hope they get a nice settlement. No money is enough to make up for that. But
nah, that's sad. But absolutely crazy like tech to try
Wild.
and utilize the Disney Plus
They have
streaming
smart
service terms of
lawyers
service.
and smart contract writers. Like,
He wasn't even still subscribed. He had ended his subscription 2 years prior to
Do you
the
think that they built that in knowing that people who subscribe to Disney Plus would be
yes,
would be screwed for suing them for anything else? I would assume
100%.
so.
yes.
100%.
So
Their
crazy,
lawyers
man.
said we will get somebody on this in the future.
Yeah.
What about just a last thing to wrap Disney? Did you guys ever hear of the Mickey Mouse curve with the copyright law?
I was born with that. I don't think we need to bring that into today's
That's
broadcast.
unfortunate. The Mickey Mouse curve, dude. That's unfortunate. The copyright law gets extended every time Mickey Mouse is about to be copyright free or common use. So they have that much money where they're just making the law even longer and longer and longer.
There was some there were some original episodes that recently did make it into like fair use or whatever.
Original fair use for what? To
Not
make
fair
money?
use, not fair use. It's no longer under copyright law. Like I could play some of the original episodes of Mickey Mouse completely fine.
Like Tugboat
Okay.
Mickey or one of those ones?
Something like that. That happened
But you
recently, very recently.
You can't put Mickey on a shirt and
sell it.
that shirt.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, no. So if you look into it, there's the same curve of the copyright law is
Public
is
domain. That's what
every
meant.
time.
Yeah.
Yep, every time Mickey Mouse is
Yeah.
about to hit the end of it, it just extends. That's so crazy. But I think that was a wonderful way to wrap this episode. We talked about a lot of cool stuff. I know there's a lot more cool stuff on this. I wanted to get your opinion on some of these games, but
We'll
see.
save
There's
that for
always next week.
There's always next week, unless I have to go to Miami for a conference. But anyway, what's coming up for you, Markstrom? How's it going over there?
It's so good, man. Enjoying gaming, enjoying getting prepared. We are less than 1 month officially from the beginning of our MSTV Subathon 2024. September 27th, we'll be kicking that off. I'll be live 24/7. Very much so Truman Show style. You will get to hang out with me throughout my entire day-to-day, whether that is eating breakfast, making meals, working out in the garage, mowing the yard, could be anything. In addition to, of course, lots and lots of good gameplay. We have some very fun things on the docket that I'm excited for. I'll be sleeping on stream, and the stream will also be held down and taken over by many friends of the channel. So you will have entertainment, like I said, 24/7. Very excited for that. So a lot of prep and planning. In the meantime, kicking it on Dungeonborn and CS to wrap the week. So if you would like to join us for some 10-mans on Face It, it's Friday. I think we'll probably be hitting that up. So twitch.tv/Markstrom, come through, come hang out.
Beautiful. Abe, how about you, dude?
Well, if we do face it, 10 mans on Friday, and I can take part, I gotta turn something around because I believe I'm over. Teams that have drafted Abe have lost every single game. Probably not very good for my.
I can't have it. It
the
can't
personal
be just
brand.
you, dude. Come on now.
Statistics don't lie. Right now, it's pointing out that I mean, even Beaver's got to win. So
He's got
like 2 or 3.
I carried his heavy ass the other day. That's for sure.
So I'll be taking part in that hopefully, and I'll be moderating as always. And I'm sure Elad will put moderating and quote unquote in the chat here. But just used to people coming at my skills at this point. It's fine. I'll take it and move forward. So that's over at twitch.tv/Markstrom.
First things first, I want to thank you guys for listening and watching, and I want to give a big shout out to Nuno. I know he's not here right now, but Nuno is a big help. He actually sends me the timestamps for these things, and I'm usually like a week behind on the timestamp, even though we are up to date on Spotify. Usually a week behind on the timestamps, but if we ever talk about something, we got timestamps because of Nuno. So make sure you guys thank him next time you see him. We do this podcast every week unless Markstrom has a baby, Abe goes on vacation, or unfortunately I have to take a work trip next week. And we really enjoy doing it. So would you kindly Subscribe on YouTube. We
Yeah.
went up a couple numbers. I saw that. Thank you very much. Follow us on Spotify because we are up to date. If you want to pop it on in the car, you can watch the video on Spotify too. But if you subscribe
not
on
while you drive.
YouTube, no, definitely not while you drive, unless it's in the peripherals. Definitely don't watch while you drive. I'm just messing. If you subscribe on YouTube and hit that bell, or even actually, let me just go back a couple steps. Share this YouTube channel with your mom, your brother, your sister, your auntie, your fish in the fishbowl, and the dog and the cat. Because if they subscribe as well and they hit that bell button, they might open our podcast and hear us talking about Tarkov and be like, "Wow, I love that game. I want to buy it." And then we'll be able to tell them, "Don't buy it."
If you don't tell your friends and family, you could be losing them money.
100%
You
true.
buy it, though, you
Leaving
get a
money on the
4-pack for
table,
a
bro.
discount.
So that's all we're
Don't do
saying.
that. So share this channel. We would appreciate it because we have a wonderful time doing this podcast every week, and we want to bring that wonderful time to as many people as we can. This has been another wonderful episode of the Plugged Podcast, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Deuces.